Forward. Here we go. All right, we're back for some UFC action here from Vegas. Very disappointed in last week's card. I'm sure everybody else was as well.
What did you tell me? What did you tell me over the weekend, Ed? Only morons made money on that last card.
that's what it was basically. I think I don't know how the judges judged some of these fights. There was 3 fights there that were definitely within question. That's for sure from these judges. And the Macy Barber
one was just, I mean, it was grand theft.
Yeah, Macy Barber did not win. Everyone knows she did not win except 2 guys sitting ringside.
That one hurt bad, Ed. And I don't listen. The Kyler Phillips one should have been at minimum a draw. I actually think an argument could be made for a 10-8 in the first and a 10-9 in favor of Phillips in the second.
Yeah, I agree. I think Phillips, worst case scenario, definitely a draw, but I think Phillips edged it out. Definitely not in the last round, but
no.
These judges, I think they're thinking how the fight ends in the 3rd round.
Yep.
If a fighter wins the 3rd round, must be giving a victory to.
Yeah.
Forget about the whole other body of work there with the fights, but it was pretty bad. Now the main event, that was razor close. I thought. I mean, I thought damage was done more by Sandhagen, but. I mean,
I had it 2-2 going into the 5th, and I thought Sandhagen won the 3rd, but I'm not too upset over it, Ed, because here's the thing. I bet him at a -170, and Sandhagen did not look like a -170.
No.
So that looked like a pick'em fight, and I made the wrong wager. Even if Sandhagen would have gotten his hand raised, he didn't fight like a -170 favorite there.
And I give Dillashaw credit. He fought wounded the majority of the fight, and Sandhagen couldn't finish him. And he did pressure him and time up. So, I mean, either way, that I can live with that decision there. But not the other 2. The other 2 I'm a little salty about.
But Ed, that's the beauty of the UFC. They give us another card to jump right into the fire with. So
they do. And this one here one's a little treacherous here, I think, but I'm gonna try. And the thing that scares me is I think those judges are back, the same exact judges.
Yeah.
Which means if it isn't going to, if there's not a finish, we're going to their cards, and who knows? Who knows what they see? I know the majority of the world saw some of those fights a lot differently than those 2 guys did. So. All right, first fight of the night here. We got the young. Is this one the younger brother, or is this the older brother?
I think it's the younger one, actually, but it's the one that everyone thought was worse than the other one. But the other one, didn't do too well early on in his UFC career. But let's see what Orion has to do for us here.
I think I'm going to put a play on this. I'm going to say fight does not go the distance.
Yep.
I think that's my play here. I'm not too sure which fighter gets KO'd, but one of them probably will.
Yeah.
Once you decide who gets that, I think you got a good lean on that.
Yeah, and honestly, I already bet the same bet you just said. To fight this thing's not going to the cards. And I also took a little sprinkle on Kosi inside the distance. I turned a -170 favorite into a +150 dog by doing that. A small bet on that side because I think Rowe could win. I mean, Rowe has 9.5 inches of reach on him in this fight, 4-inch height advantage, 9.5-inch reach advantage. He's quick. He has good footwork, but that, Gabe Green at his debut in the UFC, Rowe didn't get his way early, and Gabe just started putting it on him late. And this is basically the equivalent of a Contender Series fight to me, Ed. They're both recent alum, and I think it could go either way. But I think I like Kosi's power. I also kind of like his offensive wrestling. He gets Rowe down. Rowe will be throwing up some submission attempts from the back, but Kosi, if he gets him down, gets on top, I think you could see a TKO ground and pound. and that would be the end. But I like the fight doesn't go to the distance. Already bet it, and I took a little sprinkle on Kosi inside the distance plus 150.
Yeah, I kind of like that too, but I'm just gonna stick with do not go the distance, I guess. But all right, next fight. I'll let you do this one. Jones versus Ronnie Lawrence.
Yeah, wow. And I like Ronnie Lawrence. I mean, I like him a lot, but I'll tell you, I took Trevin Jones at plus 125, Ed. I think so. Everyone touts Lawrence's wrestling, and don't get me wrong, he's a wrestling machine. I think he had 9 takedowns his last fight, 5 his last fight, 9 the prior fight, 12 takedowns in or it might have been 12-9 or 12-5, some godly number, just gaudy number. But there's a problem with that. That means the guy keeps getting back up, Ed.
Yeah.
If you have to have that many takedowns in a fight, that means you're not able to control and hold your opponent down. And if you let Trevin Jones up too often, Trevin Jones is going to turn the lights out. And you saw what he did to Mario Bautista, and Jones was a big dog. And you saw what he did to Timur Valiev, and he was a big dog. Two consecutive KOs. Now, he did pop for marijuana against Valiev, but marijuana didn't help him with that KO.
No.
So, and here's the thing about Jones. He's a BJJ black belt. You get him on the ground, he's not going to be a fish out of water in those wrestling exchanges. So I love Jones's power. I love the plus money. Listen, Lawrence could easily win this fight, but you give me plus money on a guy like Jones with that kind of power and that kind of finishing capability, knowing that Lawrence is very hittable and he's going to keep letting him back up even if he gets him down repeatedly. I'm going to, one of those times Jones stands up, he's going to find that chin and it's going to be lights out.
Yeah. I'm going to stay away. I'm still a little gun shy from last week. I think they might just kick back and watch it and see how she unfolds.
Yeah.
I don't know who to side with. I don't have a good feel.
I might have a different take, Ed, if Jones wasn't a BJJ black belt on top of the striking.
Yeah.
So he's going to be looking for stuff on the ground when it gets there. He's not going to just be, allowing Lawrence to control him and or anything like that. He's going to be looking for subs. He's going to be scrambling. He's going to be looking for reverses. And I think Jones, just based on the line, this should be a pick 'em fight, and to get plus 125, I had to take it.
All right, moving on here. Ashley Yoder versus Jin Yu Frey. Big pass for me. Not much to say on this. The only thing I would say is it probably goes the distance, and I may sprinkle that on there just because that's probably what will happen. So I might talk myself into it later. I don't know how you feel. I'll let you go with.
Heavy chalk on that, Ed. Heavy chalk on that. Minus 300 with this thing going the distance. I think it absolutely goes there. I don't think either girl finishes. And you're going to call me a degenerate here. I bet Ashley Yoder at minus 135. Now that lines up to minus 155.
Yeah.
Jin Yu Frey is an atom weight fighting at 115, and Ashley Yoder is a big 115er. And I think if Ashley Yoder didn't have any answer for Angela Hill striking in the last fight, she's not going to face that against Frey. Frey is a low volume striker. And if this goes to the ground, whether it be Yoder on her back or Yoder on top, I like Yoder's game on the mat. So she's longer, she's taller, she's bigger. Like I said, Frey's a natural 105er. And this is a big size mismatch. Yoder will be the stronger girl, bigger girl, longer girl, and she has sneaky submissions, in the grappling exchanges. So I didn't put the hammer down on it, but that minus 135. This should be lined a little wider. Minus 155, minus 160 where it is now. That's probably appropriate.
Okay. Fight number 4. Hey, this is all say that these fights all happen because look at this down here.
Yeah.
How many of these fights have changed, and we lost lost the fight there.
We
All right.
lost the Nunez title fight for next week too.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yep.
That's not looking good. Not looking good. All right. Next one. Chavez versus Kamaka. I think you're up because I passed.
Yeah. I took Danny Chavez even money, Ed. Even money. It's now this started out at Kamaka minus 150. Money came crashing in on Chavez. I didn't get him at plus money, but I got him at even money. Now it's a pick 'em. Minus 110 on both sides. Kai Kamaka has no gas tank. None. The guy just he looks good in the first round, and then he gasses hard, and that's how TJ Brown beat him. That's how JSP beat him, and Tony Kelly almost finished him, but somehow, some way, he got a second win in the third round to win that decision against Tony Kelly. Kai Kamaka looks good in the feet on the first round. Surprisingly, it looks like he's throwing harder than he really is. He doesn't finish anyone. It's always by decision. And everyone's, knocking Chavez about losing to Jared Gordon last fight. Jared Gordon missed weight by like 4 pounds, Ed, on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And Jared Gordon just mauled him on the ground because Jared Gordon's already a strong grappler. Then you give him a 4-pound miss on purpose, give him that advantage. Chavez didn't have an answer for it. That's not going to happen here. Kamaka's not going to be shooting takedowns. If anything, Chavez will be shooting takedowns against Kamaka. I think this is an easy, unanimous decision for Chavez at even money.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm siding that way. Nothing official yet, but I am leaning that way as well with Chavez. All right. Skip off this one. I'll tell you, this card it scares me. All right, what do we got here? Chris. Ooh. Gruetzemacher versus Rafa García. I have no opinion on this fight either.
No.
Nah.
So I took, number one, the fight not going the distance, minus 105. Rafa García, if I'm not mistaken, he is now the largest favorite on the card, I believe, minus 310, minus 315. Rafa García should destroy Gruetzemacher. I parlayed Garcia in a 2-leg parlay with a fighter later on. Garcia started at minus 245. That's where I got him. He's now minus 315. Gruetzemacher, this is a setup, Ed. Garcia took a short notice fight against Hack Parast, and he lost convincingly, but he kept coming and he was game. He was a game opponent, and I think he showed that he belonged in this promotion. And now the UFC is rewarding him by giving him a walkthrough fight in Gruetzemacher. I think he's 9 years younger than Gruetzemacher. He has the grappling advantage. He has the power advantage. Gruetzemacher's game is he's a good boxer, but I think Rafa can even stand and exchange with this guy and come out on the other end on top. So look for a heavy wrestling game plan from Rafa, and probably I think he finishes him in the second round, if not earlier. I took both fight not going the distance, and I added Rafa to a parlay at minus 245.
Yeah, still gotta look at it a little bit more, I guess. I'm really interested in these weigh-ins this week.
Yeah,
really interested. All right, fight number 6 here, Collin, Anglin. This one here, Melsick.
Baghdasaryan.
Okay, I guess that's not too bad to say. Once again, I don't have a whole lot of research on this. I guess I'll let it up to you here on this one.
Yeah, and this is two Contender Series alumni, and I'm all over Baghdasaryan here at minus 140. If you go back and watch both their Contender Series fight, this Baghdasaryan, everything is thrown with bad intentions. How Bazookia withstood that barrage in the first round, I don't know. Bazooki just has a cast iron jaw. But the interesting thing is the knock on Baghdasaryan coming into that fight, Baghdasaryan, is all of his fights were short, 14 seconds, 32 seconds, 9 seconds, 7 seconds. He's knocking people out because of just the power. But he showed a lot of heart in that fight against Bazookia, where he gassed himself out in the first round, emptied the tank trying to finish him. Lost round 2, but came back, composed himself, got a second win, and won the third round convincingly to win a unanimous decision. Collin Anglin, on the other hand, he fought Naimov in that Contender Series fight. Naimov landed 30 significant strikes in the first round against him. If Baghdasaryan lands 30 significant strikes against Collin Anglin in the first round, they're taking him out in an ambulance.
Yeah.
That's all. His head's high, chin's high, guard's down. Naimov won the first round. Naimov lost the second round, lost the third round because of some grappling exchanges. But what people are failing to realize, people are all, touting this Anglin and going to beat Baghdasaryan. Naimov finished that fight the last 30 seconds on top, raining ground and pound down. If there are 30 more seconds in that fight, we're talking Naimov versus Baghdasaryan instead of Anglin against him. And it was just a case, Ed, of Anglin, a gassed fighter, being less gassed than Naimov. And then Naimov went to another promotion, a weaker promotion, lost his debut there. So how good was Naimov?
Yeah.
Gave Anglin everything he wanted. Baghdasaryan's going to give him more than he wants. And at minus 140, I think it's a steal. I have a 5-unit bet on Baghdasaryan at minus 140. And I went back and taped both of those Contender Series fights before I made, and it just reinforced my initial thought that this, and I also have fight not going the distance, Ed, plus 110.
I do like that. That does sound good.
Plus money. Baghdasaryan most likely KOs him if for some reason
Oh, I think I lost you there, Joe. Can you hear me? All right.
So yeah, and I think the fight not going the distance is certainly the safest bet, especially at plus money. If Baghdasaryan does gas and Anglin has something left in the third round, he could find a sub. I think that's the less likely outcome, but it's a possibility. But the Baghdasaryan KO is a real possibility, and getting both sides of that at plus money, I think, is a solid bet. So I took that at plus 110. And I laid the hammer on Baghdasaryan at minus 140.
Well, this is definitely a weigh-in I'm going to be watching tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll see it. And if you do want 5 units on them, 5-star player, basically.
Yeah, and another unit on the fight not going the distance. So 6 units in all on the fight.
I'm going to definitely take a little bit more look at it. You feel pretty confident, so I feel
absolutely. And
feel like I need to do a little research.
Go back and study. Go back and tape study those 2 Contender Series fights. Watch Baghdasaryan and then watch Anglin, and you tell me.
Yeah. All right, next one. We got number 7, Montaño versus Woo. Woo. I mean, I'll make a pick. I don't know if it's going to be a play. I'm going to go Montaño, but who knows? Probably going to go the distance, but nothing official just yet. Let me hear what your perspective is on this one.
That's another one that's juiced, Ed, that minus 275 fight going distance, just like
they usually go there, though.
The bookmakers know what they're doing. I'm not touching this. I will say this, Ed. So Montaño's been out for over 2 years now that she hasn't been in the cage. And since then, she's had 5 canceled fights, all on her side, by the way. She has trouble cutting the weight. She has all kinds of issues. At the same time, if she uses a grapple-heavy approach here and a wrestle-heavy strategy, she should easily handle Wu. but the line is just getting a little out of control. I mean, you're talking about a minus, what, 270 now on someone who hasn't been in the cage for over 2 years and someone who has notoriously struggled making weight. 5 canceled fights since her last fight, but I think 7 canceled fights within her having that one fight. So 2 canceled fights before that one. So I would be surprised if she even steps into the cage Saturday night, to be honest. I mean, just if you open that up and look at her track record recently, it's not good. But the pick is Montaño, but I wouldn't lay a penny. I mean, look at that. Canceled against Jason, canceled against Avila, canceled against Avila, canceled against Avila again, and then canceled against Carol Rosa. But then look before the Juliana Pena fight that she lost, 2 more canceled bouts.
Yeah, she missed it here.
Yep. And then she had a fight against Modafferi, but the fight before that against Sarge canceled.
Yep.
8 canceled fights to 2 fights that actually went off since 2017. So if she comes in on point, makes weight, does all that, she should win this easily, but I'm not touching it, Ed.
Yeah. Yep, same here. All right, let's go back to the grind here. Bryan Barberena versus Jason Witt. I'm going to go here. I do have a little bit of whatever here. I'm going to go with double B here. I don't know where you're going to stand on it, but I just think he's going to edge it out. And I dare say he gets him and catches him. I don't know. I could be off, but
yeah,
I'm not real crazy on it. So, I mean, this is just a pick. It's not a play by chance. You know what I mean? I just have that feeling. I don't know what you feel. Jason Witt just doesn't do too much for me, but
I love Barberena in this spot, Ed. I actually he's the second piece of the parlay with Rafa García for me. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't any red flags here, but Jason Witt probably has the worst chin in the UFC.
Exactly.
I mean, Semmelsberger knocked him out with a jab, I think, last fight. And then Takashi Sato KO'd him in less than a minute prior to that. Yeah. So Semmelsberger counter right. All right. But it was 16 seconds. The first punch he threw, it was lights out. Jason Witt beat Cole Williams. Cole Williams was an out of shape, fat guy, missed weight, and Jason Witt just grappled him, won.
Yeah.
The concerns with Barberena are, so he had back surgery before the Ivy fight. He got taken down 5 times by Anthony Ivy, but he won the decision unanimously. But he still got taken down 5 times. After that fight, Ed, he had surgery for some sort of issue he was having with internal bleeding. So this is his first fight back from that now. Now, here's the way this boils down for me. Jason Witt's path to victory is getting Barberena down, wrestling, grappling, maybe even finding a sub. That's his path, right? But if Anthony Ivy took him down 5 times and Barberena got up 5 times, all he has to do is find Witt's chin once, and he's going down. I mean, that you and I could touch that chin once, and Witt's going out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so, people, so the plays I have on this, I have Barberena in that parlay with Rafa. I have fight not going the distance at minus 180. And I also took Bryan Barberena with a little sprinkle inside the distance. And the reason that I don't think Barberena will win a decision, because if he wins a decision, that means he's landing a lot of strikes. If he lands a lot of strikes, Jason Witt isn't seeing the cards. Right? So I have him as a straight money line parlay with Rafa, fight not going the distance, and a sprinkle plus money with Barberena inside the distance.
Yeah, I like it. Nothing official yet, but I like it. All right. All right. What do we got? Ryan Benoit or Benoit? I think it's Benoit.
Benoit.
All right. And Zarrukh Adashev. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go hard pass on this one again. Let's hear what you got to say.
Yeah, it's a pass. Ed.
Passing too.
I mean, this thing, Benoit. I don't know if you remember. This same fight was supposed to go off in May, and Benoit was hospitalized because of a bad weight cut.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to line it back up. If Benoit's right, I mean, he has the experience advantage. Benoit has KO power, but in a weird kind of way, I could see Adashev just outpointing him as a kickboxer for 3 rounds and coming out on top on the cards. The 2 losses from Adashev, I mean, losing to Madarji pieced him up in the first round, but Adashev made a decent account of himself in the second round against a real long, rangy, powerful striker. And then he got knocked out against Tyson Nam, but a lot of people get knocked out against Tyson Nam. So if I were to make gun to the head, I had to take a pick here. I'd take Adashev at plus money on what's probably a 50-50 fight, but I'm staying away from it.
Yeah, I think this is a loser leaves town fight here, but who knows? I don't see him keeping
I'll tell you,
around.
I bet it's entertaining. It's probably an entertaining fight.
Could be. Might be get up and go to the bathroom time though. But we'll go number 10 here. We got a little Niklas Stolze versus Jared Gooden. I guess I passed on my fight, so I'll let you go with this one. And I do have a little opinion on this, but
yeah. So Stolze was originally supposed to fight Lazez, and Lazez pulled out 2 days ago. So now we have short notice Jared Gooden coming in. I think Stolze wins this, and not that Jared Gooden is bad, but his last 2 fights, Ed, just no killer instinct. The Alan Joe Band fight, I had money on Gooden as an underdog in that fight, and it was just painful to watch the lack of killer instinct when he'd land something, no follow up. And I think Stolze was going to give Lazez a fight. And Lazez, in my opinion, I think would have won that fight, but this is a big step down to the competition he was preparing for this time. So right now he's lined up he opened at a minus 200, Gooden coming back at plus 170. I think that's lined probably about right. So I don't see any value on either side of that.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Stolze on this as well. Don't know yet. Like I said, I'm more of waiting around for the weigh-ins, but there's a ton of last-minute replacements on this.
Yep.
And I do have to do some research. I am off tomorrow, basically, so I'm going to be able to look at a little bit more stuff completely free for the day. So I'm kind of happy with that. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Stolze, like basically the same reason. I think just a little bit more prepared, obviously, and I think he gets the job done. All right, we got the Paula versus Cheyanne Bays. Was it Bays or Bays? What is it?
Bays, I think.
Bays, that's what it is. I'm staying away. Women's MMA, especially after what I saw last week. Barber versus our Maverick. Maverick just put it to Barber, and now they're throwing this back up. And those three judges still there. There's one judge I like and 2 that I don't like. Who scored it correctly? Which judge scored that correctly?
I can't even remember who had that right. But it was ugly.
Yeah. All right. So I have nothing for this. I'll put it up here in case you want to talk about it. I don't want to.
Ed, I'm going right back on into the fire, buddy. I hammered this one. So
oh boy.
Cheyanne Bays opened at minus 170. Moved down to 160, I hammered it. Moved down to 150, I hammered it a second time.
Wow.
Minus 1. I think she absolutely demolishes Paula in this fight. So keep in mind, even though the headlock did her in against Ruiz there last time, Cheyanne is married to JP, who is a wrestler.
Yeah.
And if you watch that Jin Yu Frey against Gloria Paula fight, once Paula hit the mat, she literally just was waving the white flag. She had nothing to give. I think the striking will be comparable. Cheyanne throws with, she's nasty, she's mean. I think Cheyanne throws with a little power. But all she has to do is go for a wrestle heavy attack like Jin Yu Frey did, who, by the way, is much smaller, weaker than Cheyanne. Again, getting back to Frey being a true atom weight, not a 115er. And I think Cheyanne dominates this thing from the bell to whistle. And like I said, I hit the line twice, -160, -150. By the way, now she's back up to -170. So I think a lot of people were doing what I was doing. So that kind of made me feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not afraid of this one at all.
Braver man than I am. All right, let's move on here. Rani Yahya versus, who is this? Kang? What?
Yep. Kyung Kang.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, I like, everybody likes a little Rani Yahya here, but let's take a look at his last fight here against Ray Rodriguez. I mean,
I cashed that ticket, Ed. I cashed that ticket.
I mean, is it going to happen 2 in a row? Is he going to do it, or?
Yep.
You agree? You think so?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's who I would side with, but nothing official just yet. But I am, more or less favoring it. I just like what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
And he's, as long as that gas tank holds up,
I hit this. I hit this one 3 ways.
Plus, he's a dog, so.
Yeah, well, that thing now has come down to even money. So I hit it at +120. I hit the fight not going the distance at -105, and I also sprinkled Rani inside the distance, because Ronnie's not going to win a decision here. Ronnie's going to sub him out. So I like the fight not going the distance, just in case Ronnie does gas out and Kang kind of gets a hold of him and finishes him somehow. But Kang is notoriously in close fights. This guy, he always split decisions one way or the other. If you look at his history, it's split. It's never a convincing win or a convincing loss when he lost to Ramos. And here's the thing: he has a bad gas tank, Ed. So everyone's going to talk in Yahya because of his age and gas tank. Kang has no gas tank.
Yeah.
And Kang's preferred method of fighting is grappling. Where do you think Yahya wants to play?
No, yeah.
I don't see much of a path here for Kang. I think it's another, now we cashed him as a favorite against Rodriguez last time, but Yahya plus money against Kang, who, correct me if I'm wrong, let's look, hasn't fought in 2 years, close to it, almost 2 years. December of 19, so almost. And yet we're going to give plus money to Yahya?
Yeah.
I took it and I hit it 3 ways: inside the distance, fight not going the distance, and Yahya on the money line.
I'm definitely siding that way, but like I said, nothing in stone yet. But I do like this fight here coming up. I just don't think this fight goes to the cards. Hall versus Strickland. I think something's going to happen. I don't know which one's going to do it, because we all see Uriah Hall, what he does. He kind of like lays around right now, lets people punch it. Last fight, who's his last fight? Silva, right?
No, Weidman.
Weidman. My bad, Weidman.
On the first kick.
That's because it happened so quick. But something's going on, on there. I don't know. I think, but if I had to pick a winner, I'm kind of going on the Strickland side. But I just don't think it goes to the decision. But it's not a play yet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just just picking it right now, just to say it's not going to go the distance. I just think, if Strickland doesn't get him out of there, I think Hall could, and I think Strickland could be ahead on the card. You know what I mean? Go, just by whatever. And I think Hall somehow he finds a way.
So if you scroll down there though, Ed, so go back into
which guy we want?
Yep, him, Hall.
One Hall, okay.
Yep. I want you to take a look at something. Let's look at his last 4 fights.
Yeah, he's fighting guys that are either at the end
so
or not here anymore.
His last 4 wins. Well, I'm not even going to count the Costa, the KO. His last 4 wins: Bevan Lewis, no longer in the UFC. Antonio Carlos Jr., split decision, no longer in the UFC. Anderson Silva, he should have retired before that fight. It was a disgusting display where Silva won the first 2 rounds, by the way.
Yep.
And then Chris Weidman throws 1 kick, breaks his leg. We don't see anything. I think this is an easy fight for Sean Strickland. Uriah Hall is such a low-volume fighter. Hall's a low-volume fighter, Ed. Gets off to a slow start. Look, like I said, Anderson Silva won the first 2 rounds. Sean Strickland, he marches you down, hunts you down, and he's relentless. He's a relentless fighter. And now that thing's down to minus 200. I think that's a lot of value. 2-1 favorite. It should be minus 250, minus 275, in my opinion. 36.
Yeah, I mean, the thing on Strickland is they say if he ever would be if he'd ever put it all together like he does in the gym, you'd have something really crazy. But
look at his last 3 fights.
I mean, this kid Allen. I mean, he did well last week, and he beat him with punches.
On the feet, Allen put on a show against Punalei.
Yep.
And Jotko's no joke. If you look at his last 3 opponents versus Uriah Hall's last 3 opponents, I mean, I think all the momentum clearly on the Strickland side, and that I think Strickland has a pretty tough chin too.
Yeah,
you sit in there and take some shots, and Uriah Hall I'm not saying Uriah can't land some weird spinning thing. His last loss was against a spinning hook kick to the head, Strickland. So if Hall throws some weird, something at him,
I mean, if you take a look at the quality of opposition he's faced here as we go down, I mean, it's top notch.
Yep.
And
I just look at his last 3 compared to Uriah's last 3.
Yeah, this is before. What was he in a motorcycle accident? Correct.
Yeah, that's why he took that time off. I think it was between 18 and 20. Yep. Yeah.
So.
But he's.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I like Strickland, but I don't know. There's just always that whatever. I guess I just want to see one more fight from him. He gets over the Hall thing, which he should. I think like I'm saying, I just don't see this fight for some reason. I just have a good feel that there's going to be a KO.
Yep. And I agree with you. I hit that fight not going the distance at it minus 160. That's pretty good value.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think someone's going home. More than likely, it's probably going to be Hall.
Yeah.
But,
and I did take Strickland at minus 200 on the money line.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I tell you what, Jody, we talked earlier before we clicked the record button here. Don't sleep on Bellator this week. I mean,
yes,
I would record it. We'll just jump over there real quick.
Yeah.
Just
a little bonus coverage.
we both kind of agree that the Bellator card is going to be better than the UFC card. This is a main event here on a UFC. This is a pay-per-view main event.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a great fight.
Right here. And, man, I will be watching this one live.
Yeah.
Whatever time it comes on, the record button's going to be on the other channel, on the ESPN, whenever. Yeah. I don't even check if it's on Plus or if it's on regular one, but I will be watching that fight live. I'm not going to miss that one.
But there's some nice prospects on that undercard too in this Bellator.
Oh, we got some Russians on here.
Yep.
We got the OV.
Yep.
You see the OV? I mean, I'm going to line. Here's where I'm looking for. We didn't talk about putting anything on. Maybe we should come back tomorrow. I don't know, or right before the fight, but. I mean, I'm gonna dance like that. There's gonna be 2 guys right here back to back that are in parlays for me.
Yep.
They're right here. I feel more comfortable on this Bellator card. Because I've looked at it as well. I feel Like I'll, you know, of course it's gonna be juiced up.
Yeah, you have those wide lines. Yep.
Yeah, but there's a couple here that I'm gonna be peppering. OV,
Yep.
and then we got the other OVs coming up.
Yep.
You watch and see. Like this guy, this is probably feeding somebody to a lamb here. It's on the prelim, but you know they're lowering that lamb down to him, and I don't think it's obviously look at the favorite. You know what I mean? It's
minus 650. That's
I mean
that's usually Amanda Nunes type lines, you know.
yeah, and it's well deserved, I'm sure, without jumping in there. But I mean they got him coming in. So.
Oh yeah.
That's
no, I'll definitely
here.
I'll definitely be tuning into to some of that. It's running simultaneously with the UFC card Saturday, so gonna be back and forth between the two.
Yeah, I mean the only reason why the UFC card will outdraw it is because it's on Showtime.
Yeah. Yep.
That'll be the only reason that it outdraws it.
Yep. And I still think, Ed, there are still people who aren't quite aware of the quality in Bellator.
Yeah.
I think so. They see UFC, that's the promotion they're drawn to. It's the promotion they know. So they tune into that. But Bellator, there's some good fighters coming through that promotion.
What is this Justin Berry? Let's take a look. I'm just going to snip in here real quick. 32 years old.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe he knows Pat Berry a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, let's see who they probably don't even have him on it. I was just curious. I didn't even like jump into that one. That will be a pass, I'm sure. But
there's definitely some
there is value here.
Yep.
And I think a lot of this value is with these Russians here. Bellator does it right. They know, what's going on. Let's see where these guys are from. Let's see if where's their they're just having Russia.
Yeah.
Fighting out of St. Petersburg, Russia.
Yeah.
I just wonder if they are in the Habib camp at all. Right here.
Dagestani fighters.
Yes. They're not getting real specific with us here.
No.
I'm sure this guy knows Habib. What do you think?
I think so.
I think that is a cousin, if I'm not mistaken. And Islam's tough here. Let's see what favorite he is.
Dagestan. He's a Dagestani. It says it.
Yep. Curious. Yeah, there's some value here. We might have to dip into here.
At least less than a 2-1 favorite.
Yeah, I mean there could be some value here.
Yep.
Probably, he's no joke. I've seen him fight. I'm trying to think when I saw him fight. It was right here he's fighting. This is the goats of grappling.
Yep. He's 36 years old though. That's a tough. Yeah, he's getting there, Ed, against the young Dagestani, 31-year-old Dagestani.
Yeah, and look at he's got some, his last loss was to Chandler.
Yep.
So, but he does, if you take a look here, though, he has a win. But there was something screwy that happened, I believe.
Yeah, the ankle. He twisted an ankle or did something.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's his only loss is to Chandler. So it's a pretty good loss to have if you have a loss.
Yep.
It was a decision, but
you're telling me you'll be going over there instead of watching Ashley Yoder and Jin Yu Frey?
I will definitely I am going to be on that end. I'm going to be over here. Like I said, I already kind of know this fight here is going to be dynamite here.
Yep.
I mean, that's where I have Showtime, but basically it seems like it's going to be free for me to get that good of quality of a fight.
Absolutely. No, it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm jumping on it.
We need to start incorporating a little bit of this analysis into the weekly show.
Yeah. I mean, there's some. It's more appealing, and you know what? Bellator always slides these fights in. It's kind of like old school UFC.
Yep.
Where they're gonna throw that sacrificial lamb in there, and they're gonna show it. And you know what? People like to see people get beat up, and they're gonna get beat up here. You know, you got to pay the price tag when it's watching that beat up.
Oh yes. Oh yes. No question.
It's gonna happen. And usually you're not gonna find you're not gonna find your other odds or props and stuff to go with some of these, but
yeah. But I'm telling you, Ed, after a tough week last week, I do believe this UFC card this week. I think there are some soft spots. I know it looks on paper like, wow, what in the world is this? But some of those props, you parlay a couple of the stronger fighters together, take some obvious lines. I think we can make back the small losses we took last week because of, hate to say it, because of the judges. We didn't make the wrong picks. It just didn't pan out the way it should have.
Yeah, this is the guy here I'm going to be looking at. You kind of.
He's Armenian. He's Armenian, by the way. Another area where these guys are just brutally tough.
Yeah, and I remember this fight here. Obviously, I mean, I didn't see these fights live, or I think I do a little bit of tape on them, which obviously is not going to take too long to look at.
Do the tape study on that one, and then do the tape study on Anglin Contender Series fight, and you walk away from those two fights, and you tell me who you think at a -140, by the way. -140.
Yeah, because there's not too much tape study here.
Yep. I think it was.
I get that done. Look at that. I can get that done in like a minute.
Less than a minute cage time in those 4K. So that's crazy.
All right. So if we go back to everything here, to finalize everything, I do like fight does not go the distance here. All right. That's going to be on there. I am looking at this one to go the distance. You know what I mean? I don't think I didn't make that an official, but that's probably going to be the play. Sliding up the ladder. I think I'm getting talked into this fight here by you.
Yeah.
It's actually these next two fights. All right. And up here, this will probably become a play, but nothing yet. I just say I agree with you. No chin there at all. And up here, I do like Rani. Nothing yet, though. I do like Strickland. Nothing solid, but I just don't think it's going the distance. Yeah. And I think they got to bang. They got to do something to compete with that Bellator card. They got to draw somebody in to watch it or something. They got to make it some fireworks happen. But I'll let you go to town on your stuff here.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think I have all said and done 20 bets on this card already. I have that fight not going the distance with a small sprinkle on Kosi inside the distance. I have Trevin Jones on the money line. I have Ashley Yoder on the money line. I have Danny Chavez on the money line. I have Rafa García in a parlay with Bryan Barberena. And I also have that fight not going the distance. I have Baghdasaryan on the money line and this fight not going the distance. Total pass on Montaño and Wu, no action. I have Barberena in the parlay with Rafa. I have Barberena with a sprinkle inside the distance, and I have this fight not going the distance. Nothing on Benoit and Adashev. Nothing on Stolze Gooden. And yes, I hammered the money line on Bays twice at -160 and -150. Rani Yahya money line, Rani Yahya inside the distance and fight not going the distance. And the main event, Sean Strickland money line -200 and fight not going the distance. I think that adds up to about 18 or 19 bets, Ed.
You got some actions. Yep. I guess you will not be watching.
We're getting it all back.
You're going to record Showtime this week. You're going to record the Bellator and watch it after, I guess. See, I got the option right now. I don't got too much invested right now, so I can do the channel flips.
Yeah. I'll tell you, even though I have money on Yoder and that Yoder fry, that will be like watching paint dry at that fight.
Yeah. Are the times lined up perfectly?
Yeah, I mean they're both on the West Coast too this time because
sometimes Bellator will start at 4.
Yeah, but remember, Bellator's on the West Coast too this week.
That is true. They are LA. All right, so we got 6 there. Bellator is here. Bellator is at
1 hour difference. 1 hour difference.
Yeah, and that's kind of odd. Well, Bellator only has 12 fights.
Yep.
You know what? Bellator knows that these first 5 fights may go a minute too. So
5 fights, total of 5 minutes.
yeah, I mean that could happen. It makes them exciting. I'm telling you, people like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a good promotion. I really do.
Yeah, people like to see it. I'd like to see one of them come to Pittsburgh here. Give us some Pittsburgh.
Well, speaking of
Vegas, everything's in Vegas.
speaking of to see an event, Ed, I just got my tickets for UFC 266 in September. Volkanovski Ortega. So I just got my tickets today. They went on sale as a pre-sale. We're locked in, ready to rock. So that's Shevchenko and Lauren Murphy as the co, and Volkanovski Ortega as the main.
You know what I was looking at? Where is this fight? Surely they're gonna put that in. Oh, guess where this is at?
Madison Square Garden.
It's about 5 hours away from me.
Yep.
Oh, this could be interesting.
Yep.
We got the gas tank kid here.
Telling you, it's just Usman's striking on top of his grappling nose. It's becoming scary.
Yeah. But your boy caught a hold of him and almost got him.
I'm telling you, Gilbert almost got in the first minute.
Even though I about vomited watching that fight. And I think, you know who they said else vomited was Wonder Boy. He vomited too. And
but
that's no lie. He got sick or something.
But I'm telling you, Ed, if you go back to our video, we talked about it. If that thing goes to the ground, Wonder Boy has no answer.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I mean, it really was a pretty simple. If it would have stayed on the feet, Wonder Boy wins. But as
long as he can avoid major damage. Because he was ahead on. He was,
and then he got knocked out in the 5th round.
He didn't get knocked out. He could have kept going.
So Ed, think about it. Let's go back to your buddy Wonder Boy. After watching that fight, can you imagine him fighting Usman?
No.
Stephen Thompson?
No.
Can you imagine how ugly that would be?
That would be bad.
So everyone was saying, all he needed to do was win against Burns and he would have got a title shot. That would have been the last thing Thompson wanted to end his career on, is a title shot against Usman.
I still don't know what this is. This fight here, Covington. Losing Bill.
He stuck his neck right in there.
Alves. Ugh.
Yep, 1.5 minutes in, too.
You know what, though? Colby knows that, he was stupid. He doesn't even care about getting a rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much, In this fight here, we can't even count this. I was almost, I'm almost at the point, wow, I don't know if he could beat. Which Paul's he going against, Jake?
Jake or Logan? I don't know which one. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. That last fight against Luque, now Luque ended up getting him, obviously, but he came out like a ball of fire first couple minutes of that fight. He looked like the old Tyrone.
He did. He did. Let's just go skip over to there. Look, I mean, in the day, but it is not the day. It's too much blood here.
Yep. I'll tell you, though, look at that competition. Usman, Burns, Covington, Luque.
Yeah.
That's murderer's row.
Yeah, and then keep going down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He beat Wonder Boy when Wonder Boy was kind of like.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah.
And a Robbie Lawler and a Gastelum.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
Yeah, Woodley's whole career has been against studs. It's not like he's fought dog meat or anything like that.
No, not at all. Like I said, those last 4 losses, granted, he lost 4 in a row, but you can't lose against 4 tougher opponents.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. I think we Yeah, and give these guys some bonus coverage. Oh, we do have the Jake Paul
Yeah.
boxing battle there. All right. Well, enjoy your fights on Saturday, guys, and we're gonna take off and let you guys go do what you got to do.
Yep. We're gonna get it all back this week. No bad judging, Ed. No bad judging.
No bad judging sounds perfect, but Sal D'Amato will be out there, and
Right.
I actually think he's kind of not as, I don't know, who knows. I don't know what these guys see. I'm not going to give them any praise, any one of them.
I'm telling
All
you,
right, so
word of wisdom: pump up the units on Cheyenne Bays. Don't be shy on that.
I am Bays. I'm going to take a look at this now.
Yeah, telling you.
Yeah. All righty.
Good luck, everyone.
Yep. Talk to you guys next week.